Jai.
Thank you very much for gathering for Srimad Bhagavatam today. Thank you very much. We'll start with Mangalachan.
Sorry, Mangalachan is coming.
Yes. By reciting Mangalachan every day, we invoke. Yes. And we seek for blessings from the Lord and all the Acharya's in the disciplic succession. And we hope and wish and pray that we can take away something of value, something of substance, something that will help us grow in our spiritual lives. Haribol.
Okay, this is not me. Laptop. Okay. Count the 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
9.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Nar Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, and unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashta praeshu vapatreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll start reading the verses that we have to cover. Is this working? I don't think it's on. Haribol. Okay, then maybe we don't need it. Yes, please bless me so I will be able to say something of value, something of substance, and that we have something we can take away from this class. Haribol.
We are reading from text 14 to
21 to 28.
Okay.
Yes.
Start.
Okay, we can start.
Shukadeva Goswami said, after speaking in this way, the Supreme Personality of God had disappeared from that very spot. Aditi, having received the extremely valuable benediction that the Lord would appear as her son, considered herself
Finding transcendental names.
Lord Brahma said, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, all glory is unto you, who are glorified by all and whose activities and whose activities are all uncommon. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, O Lord of the transcendentalists, controller of the three modes of nature. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the all-pervading Lord Vishnu, who have entered the cores of the hearts of all living entities. All the three worlds reside within your navel, yet you are above the three worlds. Formerly, you appeared as the son of Krishna. To you, the Supreme Creator, who are understood only through Vedic knowledge, I offer my respectful obeisances.
O my Lord, you are the beginning, the manifestation, and the ultimate dissolution of the three worlds, and you are celebrated in the Vedas as the reservoir of unlimited potencies. O Supreme Person, O my Lord, as waves attract branches and leaves that have fallen into deep water, you, the Supreme Eternal Time Factor, attract everything in this universe.
Text 28. My Lord, you are the original generator of all living entities, stationary or moving, and you are also the generator of the Prajapatis. O my Lord, as a boat is the only hope for a person drowning in the water, you are the only shelter for the demigods who are now bereft of their heavenly position. Text 23. Okay, we'll recite it. Sodityam viryamadatta
Suvityam Viryamadatta
tapasa chira sambritam
Tapasachira Samritam
samahita manarajan
Samahita Manarajan
darunyagnim yathanile
Karunyam Vinyatanile
Sodityam viryamadatta
Sodityam Viryamadatta
Tapasachir samabhratam.
tapasa chira sambritam
Samahita Manarajan
samahita manarajan
Darunya agnem hyanila.
darunyagnim rathanile
Sodityam Viryamadatta
Sodityam Viryamadatta
Tapasachira samritam.
tapasa chira sambritam
Samha Manarajan
samahita manarajan
Darunyagnim yathanila.
darunyagnim yathanila
Sodityam Viryamadatta
sodityam viryamadatta
Tapasachir sambritam.
tapasa chira samritam
Samahita Manarajan
samahita manarajan darunyagnim yathanila
Sodityam Viryamadatta
sodityam viryamadatta
Tapasachira Samritam
tapasa chira samritam
Samahita Manarajan
samahita manarajan
Darunyam Nimyathanila
darunyagnim yathanila
Sodityam viryamadatta
sodityam viryamadatta
Tapasachira Samritam
tapasa chira samritam samahita manarajan darunyagnim yathanila. Okay, synonyms all together at a nice normal pace. Sa, Kashyapa, Adityam, onto Aditi, Viryam, semen, Adatta, placed, Tapasa, by austerity, Chira Sambritam, restrained for long, long years, Samahita Mana, being fully entranced upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rajan, O King, Daruni, as in firewood, Agni, fire, Yata, as, Anila, wind. Translation altogether. O King, as the wind promotes friction between two pieces of wood and thus gives rise to fire, Kashyapa Muni, whose transcendental position was completely absorbed in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, transferred his potency to the womb of Aditi. Who would like to read purport? Amalaharana.
Thank you, bro. A forest fire begins when two pieces of wood rub against one another. being agitated by the wind. Actually, however, fire belongs neither to the wood nor to the wind. It is always different from both. Similarly, here it is to be understood that union of Kashyamuni and Aditi was not like the sexual intercourse of ordinary human beings. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to do with the human secretions of sexual intercourse. He is always completely aloof from such material combination.
The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9.29, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu, I am equal toward all living entities. Nonetheless, to protect the devotees and kill the demons who are disturbing element, the Lord entered the womb of Aditi. Therefore, this is a transcendental pastime of the Lord. This should not be misunderstood. One should not think that the Lord became the son of Aditi the way an ordinary child is born of sexual intercourse between man and woman.
Mohana Prabhu.
Here, it may also be appropriate to explain, in these days of controversy, the origin of life. The life force of living entity, the soul, is different from the ove and semen of the human being. Although the conditioned soul has nothing to do with the reproductive cells of man and woman, he is placed into the proper situation because of his work. Karmana Deva Netrena. Life is not, however, a product of two secretions, but is independent of all material elements. As fully described in Bhagavad Gita, the living entity is not subject to any material reactions. He can neither be burned by fire, cut by sharp weapons, moistened by water, nor dried by the air. He is completely different from the physical elements, but by a superior arrangement he is put into these material elements. He is always aloof from material contact. Asango hi ayam purusha. But because he is placed in a material condition, he suffers the reaction of the material modes of nature.
Purusha prakriti stohi bhukte prakriti jangana karanam guna sangosya sad asad yoni janmasau.
The living
Prabhu.
The living entity in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various persons. Although the living entity is aloof from the material elements, he is put into material conditions and thus he must suffer the reactions of material activities.
Jai. Okay, so as devotees, we understand that Krishna is the source of life, all life, right? How do we see his role in creation beyond just being the cause? What is his role beyond just being the cause of the creation?
He maintains.
He maintains. Anyone else?
Annihilates.
Annihilates. Anyone else?
Nature said destroys.
Annihilate is the same.
Yes, Monal Prabhu.
He performs his wonderful pastimes, he comes into this material world.
Can you back that up with a verse?
With a verse,
You can recite the whole verse, Prabhu, if you would be willing. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानं धर्मस्य कर्म सृजनम्.
Very well. Yes, so Krishna is not just the creator, but also the maintainer and the controller of all living beings. And he enters as Paramatma in all the living entities, and he directs their wanderings throughout the world, right? And Krishna manifests in various incarnations to protect dharma, and such as Vamanadev's appearance we'll see in future. And he also empowers great personalities like Brahma to carry out the creation. So, except beyond just the role of creating the universe, he protects, maintains, he descends again and again just for souls like us, right? Now, how does understanding Krishna as the source of life influence our daily sadhana in preaching? How does understanding Krishna as the source of life influence our sadhana in preaching? How does it influence our daily lives?
We feel gratitude.
Feel gratitude? Anyone else? Monal Prabhu is falling asleep already.
I'm thinking. I'm not falling asleep. Your questions are very deep.
We have a purpose, a meaning.
A purpose, a meaning. Yes.
Enables us to be more compassionate.
Enables us to be more compassionate. How?
I mean, you see, like Krishna is the preparer in everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You try to give things to others, do good, nice.
You guys covered almost all the points. Yes, Prabhu.
It connects us with Krishna and then connects each other because we are all coming from Krishna.
Yes. So it deepens our conviction that Krishna is our ultimate shelter, and it helps us surrender fully in our devotional services and practices. It strengthens our ability to counter material arguments and instill faith in newcomers that Krishna is the true origin of life. It helps us see the presence of Krishna in everything. So it helps us be more grateful and humble. It reminds us that every soul is eternal servant of Krishna, which helps us motivate ourselves that we should go out there and preach this message to everyone else so they can all take advantage of this movement. Okay, with that said, yes. Now, we see here that Aditi, the mother of the demigods, had performed severe austerities with guidance of her husband by performing Payovrata, Haribo. And she pleased the Supreme Lord. He appeared in front of her, and she at first couldn't say anything, couldn't move. She just paid obeisances and she was left speechless. Now, this is something that we see happens with all the devotees that the Lord appears in front, whom the Lord appears in front of, like Prahlad Maharaja. Give examples. Dhruva Maharaj. Devhuti. Yes. So when the Lord appears, the devotees are left speechless. Arjuna? Universal form. Smart. Yes. So they're all left speechless, and we read the descriptions of the hair standing on the end. And after the Lord blesses them, they become fully purified and they're able to offer prayers. So after the Lord blessed Aditi, she was able to offer prayers to the Lord. And pleased with her devotion, Lord Vishnu agrees to appear as her son, Vamana. And Lord Vishnu then enters Aditi's womb, signifying the divine origin of life. Lord Brahma, he watches this happening, and as soon as Lord Vishnu appears, he offers prayers also, glorifying the Lord's descent. Yes?
When he realizes that he is in the womb, then...
Yes, appears in the womb. Thank you. Yes. So, how does Krishna reciprocate with his devotees' desires while still remaining transcendental? Like here, Aditi had a desire to save her sons, help them get back their kingdom. And so the Lord appeared and reciprocated accordingly. Yes.
Krishna says, Ye tabam prapadyante tam satev vajamyam mama vartmani vartante manushya karta sarvashaha. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he rewards everyone according to the degree of their surrender. So in this case, Aditi surrendered to Krishna, came forth with her desire, and Krishna fulfilled.
Yes. Prabhu.
So your question was how Krishna fulfilled the desires of his devotees without
While remaining transcendental.
So in this pastime, he came as a son. The Prabhupada explains that he didn't came because of the result of some ordinary sexual intercourse between a man and a woman. he came in a very transcendental way. Like the potency of Kashyapa Muni was shifted into
Aditi's.
That's how he came. So that makes him transcendental.
Yes, Monal Prabhu.
In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yoga Itatpata Yapkadeha Punajana Naveti Sojana, something like that, yeah. So he's saying that my birth and death, it seems to be like ordinary birth and death, but they are transcendental. And here also we can see that the Lord firstly appeared in his four-handed form and gave darshan to Aditi. Sorry, Aditi. And then he entered Kashyap Muni's consciousness. So it's like we can see that this is not ordinary, this is transcendental.
Yes, it is. And Queen Kunti also prays by saying that when you appear in this material world, you appear as a human being. And that is very misleading. In Bhagavad Gita, one of the verses, the translation goes like, "Fools deride me when I come in human form, descend as a human, as in my human form, and they're fools." Are we trying to pull it up? It's okay, Prabhu. Okay, so we understand that Krishna is the supreme source of life. The Bhagavatam repeatedly confirms that life originates from the Supreme Lord. And also in Bhagavad Gita 10:8, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, Krishna says that I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. 10:8. Yes. Oh, would you like to recite?
I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in the devotional service and worship with all their hearts.
Very well. So, how does this verse challenge the materialistic conception of creation? Now, before this question, what is the materialistic conception of creation and origin of life? What is it? Devanshi Prabhu.
That we came after a Big Bang theory, and then
Yes.
everything originates from that bang, and nobody knows where that source of stuff came from, like just a bang.
Yes.
Most people think that life comes from matter, but Srila Prabhupada says that life comes from life, and in this case, life comes from Lord Krishna.
Are you spoiling my script? Yes, Prabhu. Rohan Prabhu, you had something to say.
It is believed that our ancestors were monkeys and we emanated from them.
Yeah. No, I was saying not human beings, life. Yeah. So materialistic people, they believe that life originated by interaction of matter. But that is not true. As Prabhu said, by stealing the line from my script, life comes from life. And Srila Prabhupada emphasized that life does not arise from dead matter. Even in material reproduction, a living entity, the soul must be present. And a very nice example comes to my mind. I don't remember the source, but just as a machine may be assembled perfectly, but without an operator, it cannot operate. It doesn't do anything. So just like that, if we form a nice body out of matter, it won't move until the operator, the soul, is present. So yes, this shows that soul exists. And in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, we recently had a Bhakti Shastri exam. So I'm hoping everyone went back to that chapter. What does it say about the presence of soul, the qualities of a soul? There are multiple verses, so you will have enough to quote and enough to... I'll come to you. Jai Prabhu, you had something to say.
So, presence of soul we can identify by the flow of consciousness in our body.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the medicine check. No, that's like the proof.
Oh, that's the proof. Okay. Devanshi.
The verse that we learned for Bhakti Shastri, Najaya Devya Deva Kadanchan, that whole verse explains that soul is ever existing, it cannot be born, it cannot be moistened by water.
Cannot be slashed by any weapon.
Even if the body is staying.
Yes. Rohan Prabhu. Same? Monal Prabhu.
Yeah, it is also said that soul is amazing. So
Yes.
all are amazing.
Prabhu.
Soul is spiritual, soul is completely transcendental, and that's why we like these things which are permanent, which are spiritual and transcendental.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
going to say the soul is amazing.
Okay. So there are.
The main point is also that it doesn't get slayed when the body is staying.
And dehinosmenyatadehe, that the soul changes. Okay, so there are some strong evidences in Bhagavad Gita that refutes the idea of materialistic conception of life and its origination. So the first one is dehinosmenyatadehe, that just as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at the time of death. And a sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So this verse highlights that the living entity is distinct from the body, which is constantly changing. If life were merely a chemical reaction, the identity and continuity through bodily changes would not exist. Does that make sense? Yes? You can let me know if you have a question. Okay. The next one is 217. It says, that which pervades the entire body is indestructible. No one can destroy the imperishable soul. Chemicals, if you've seen, and we've all had to learn some chemistry at some point in our lives. And we also go to the labs and we see that they're kept very securely in glass containers, bottles, right? Why is that?
So that the sun and the light does not interact with the chemicals and change it.
Yes. Anyone else? You're right. Chemicals, they deteriorate over time, but the soul is eternal. This verse explicitly states that the soul cannot be destroyed, unlike material elements, which decay over time. And the verse that Prabhu mentioned, Najayate Miryate, the soul is eternal and never undergoes chemical transformations, unlike matter, which constantly changes forms. If life were a product of chemicals, it would be beyond birth and death. It would not be beyond birth and death. My bad. And the other one, 2:23-24, it says the soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapons, not burned by the fire, moistened by the water, or withered by the wind. Matter is subject to external influences, like Devanshi mentioned, that the sun, the air, they react to everything, the chemicals. So fire can burn it, water can dissolve it, air can dry it, whatever can happen. But the soul is beyond all of this. It remains unchanged throughout life and death, proving that, well, we're not made of, we're made of matter, but that's not where we originate. And that's not how life originates. And Krishna clearly distinguishes between material nature, the dead matter, including all the chemicals, and his superior energy, which is?
Spiritual.
The soul.
Yeah, the soul, the living entity, Jiva Bhutam Mahabaho.
Marginal energy.
Yes, the superior energy, the marginal energy. It's superior than the inferior, like the matter. Life is superior to matter. If life originated from chemicals, there would be no distinction between living and non-living things, right? So all of that, we could go on and on. There are a bunch of evidences in Bhagavad Gita all over. So let's stop there. Now, the summary is that soul is eternal. The soul is beyond physical destruction. Krishna differentiates living beings from matter. And with that said, we can move on. Let's talk about the divine appearance of Krishna. Unlike conditioned souls who are forced to take birth, why?
Sorry?
So the conditioned souls, all of us, were forced to take birth. Why is that? Yes.
In chapter 15, there's a verse, Shariram Yada Bhaknati, Yachapit Kramati Ishvara, Grith Vaitari Samyati, Vargandhana Bhashaya. Krishna says that the living entity in the material world carries different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another.
Very well. Yes.
The reason that Prabhu mentioned happens is because of his own karmic reaction and his own work that he does throughout the millions of lifetimes.
Yes. So the two simple words are consciousness and karma. Yes. So unlike conditioned souls who are forced to take birth, Krishna's descent is it the result of the same two things? No. Krishna appears by his own will. Yes. And are there any verses from Bhagavad Gita that support that argument? That Krishna appears by his will and not because he's forced?
Yes, but the next verse after that.
Parijranaya sadhana vinashaya chadushkrita. Yes. Anyone? Yeah, what's the translation?
Yes, to protect the devotees, and to annihilate those demons, and to establish the dharma.
Yes. Yes. So Krishna is never subject to birth and death like conditioned souls. He chooses to appear out of his own goodwill and his own internal potency. Unlike conditioned souls who take birth due to karma, Krishna appears by his own will to restore dharma. And he's never under compulsion. There's another verse, Avajananti Mamuda. It says that fools deride me when I descend in my human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. So conditioned souls take material bodies due to karma, but Krishna's body is transcendental and not subject to material nature. He's above all of that. With that said, we talk about birth here, right? So there are two kinds of birth. One we discussed already, the birth due to karma. What is the other kind of birth? Would anyone like to guess, except Devanshi?
Like the devotees, like Prabhupada, they are like Nitya Siddhas and they come here to deliver the miserable souls.
Yes. Okay. Nityananda Prabhu.
When you get initiated.
When you get initiated. Very well. So there are two kinds of birth. One, we get this material body because of our own consciousness and karma, but we get to take another birth in the same birth without dying by the process of initiation. Himanshu Prabhu, are you doing okay there? Okay. So the second birth is given by the spiritual master, right? Would anyone like to expand on that before we go forward? Nityananda Prabhu, you might be able to say a lot since you're second initiated.
What do you want me to say?
Yes, Prabhu.
When someone has taken responsibility of your past karmas, and somewhere they have given you the words like, yes, if you follow the specific process, they'll get you delivered, they'll take you back to God.
Yes. Prabhu.
I'll just simply say the meaning as initiation means to initiate something. Basically, spiritual master, he acts as a connector and he initiates you towards your spiritual growth. Basically, before that it is mentioned in scriptures that any spiritual activity you are doing is actually to get a bona fide guru. Once you get that guru and he has accepted you, then your spiritual life initiates and then you start with it.
Yes. Avinav Prabhu, you had something to say.
Yeah, so the second birth is called Dvija, and Srila Prabhupada says that when you catch hold of a bona fide spiritual master just to guide you, to act on a spiritual platform, then your second life begins.
Yes. Jai Prabhu.
So you cannot get a spiritual master without the mercy of Krishna, and you cannot get Krishna without the mercy of spiritual master. So that's a very big thing.
Very well. Yes. So in Bhagavad Gita 4:34, the translation goes like, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So this birth is not physical. It's the birth of knowledge and spiritual wisdom. That's initiation. Thank you, Prabhu. Also, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse which I can't recall the number of, but it says, one who desires real life must take a shelter of a guru. And also, Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about the Bhakti Lata Bij, that the guru plants the seed of devotion in our hearts, and that he cuts the cycle of karma by giving us transcendental knowledge, and he liberates us from the material nature and material birth. And he connects us with Krishna. Without the guru, we cannot reach Krishna.
The verse is 11.3.21.
You're right. Tasmad gurum prapadyate jignasu shreya uttamam, right? Very well. Good job, Prabhu. So, are there any examples where we see, which there are a lot in Bhagavatam, where we see that a person meets a guru, the guru plants the seed of devotion, and the person is saved? Nityananda. Aren't we all? Yes. Examples from Srimad Bhagavatam. You had your hand up first. Dhruva Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj.
The hunter,
Mrigari. Yes. Parikshit Maharaj. Yes. Oh. Vyasadev. Jagai Madai. Shukadeva Goswami. Anyone else? From here.
Don't have a guru, right?
Krishna is the guru.
Directly Krishna without guru in between.
The Prachetas. Arjuna. So all the examples that we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, it all highlights the importance of a guru, right? And it's like a live wire that comes straight from Krishna. Now, has anyone here ever had the experience of turning the switch on and getting like a zap of current?
Every single time.
Every single time.
Stay away from that switch.
Stay away from that switch? No, Prabhu, you should touch the switch. I'll tell you why. So the wire, it does not originate from the switch, right? It goes all the way somewhere very far. It originates from there. And then it comes on connecting through different machines and different houses and different factories and whatnot, right? And it comes to that switch. But as soon as you touch the switch, you still feel the current. So this disciplic succession is just the same. It originates all the way from Krishna, comes through all the acharyas in the succession, and it finally reaches to us. But just as we touch the switch and instantly feel the current, as soon as we approach a spiritual master, as soon as we approach as soon as we go anywhere near the line of the disciplic succession, we instantly feel the connection to Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Prabhu has something to say.
Yes.
The blood flows to the body, circulates to the body like a machine, and flows to the part of the body which gives the knowledge.
Yes.
The wise person will understand this, will understand what we do.
You're right, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Um, yes, so everywhere in all of our scriptures, the importance of spiritual master is highlighted and mentioned. So if someone would like to share some experience, how has your spiritual master or any other guru in the disciplic succession changed your life? Rohan Prabhu.
Yeah, just by starting, like, by the mercy of Prabhupada, they won't be here. Like, ISKCON was not there, Bhagavad Gita was not there, so whole life was like the life changing one because of the mercy of Prabhupada.
Yes, Haribol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Amala Harinam Prabhu.
So I feel like spiritual master can be a Shiksha Gurus too. So I'll just share my realization when this Kalakanta Prabhu was here. Such a wonderful soul who doesn't want to be around him, right? And when he was here, I myself like feel really connected to Gaur Kishore Das Babali Maharaj and Bhakti Vinod Thakur, since we were singing their bhajans, and I felt really blissful. I was like, okay, this is the place where I actually wanted to be.
Yes.
So it was so magical. It was like, oh, I don't even know, like these songs, wonderful songs, and Acharya has mentioned all their ecstasy in these songs. And then later I saw more about both of them, like heard some classes. So it was nice to know, and yeah, it was encouraging.
Yeah.
Haribol. Thank you for sharing that, Prabhu. Monal Prabhu.
I would like to mention my father. He acted as my Shiksha Guru. So from very young age, he showed me this path, and although I didn't follow it then, but he planted the seed so that when I came here, when I went through difficulties, I had something to hold on, and yeah, that really helped me.
Something to fall back on. Yeah, anyone else? Yes, Devanshi.
I think for me, it all started from when I joined Bhakti Academy. So then, at that time, Vishaka was there who guided me through all. She's the one who connected me with Kalamanta Prabhu. She's the one who connected me with Prabhupada Priya. She's the one who gave me such a wonderful association. So that's how, she's also my mentor and like a Shiksha Guru. So that's how she changed my life.
Yes.
And I think a lot of others like too, in that sense.
You're right. Very well. Yes. So once we get connected with the gurus in the disciplic succession, which the succession is like an ever increasing tree with millions and billions of branches, ever increasing, right? We're no longer bound by karma. All of our activities become transcendental. And we start seeing everything as Krishna's mercy. We engage in service rather than in material pursuits, which you still have to do because we're bound by duty as well. And in Bhagavad Gita 10:10, Krishna says that those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Yes? Does anyone know the verse?
He was stressed about his exam.
Yuktanam pajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Unflinching and unfailing in all Yes. We must be unflinched and unfailing in all circumstances, and that's how we can go back to Krishna. Some example, and Krishna personally guides those who surrender to the Guru. And some of the examples is Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, who took shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and became great acharyas. Another example is Bali Maharaj and Shukracharya. Bali surrendered to Vamanadev, rejecting his guru, and received eternal life. What's the difference between the two examples of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami and Bali Maharaj and Shukracharya?
Shukracharya's thing was, who told him that this is the Supreme Lord? It was Shukracharya who told him his thing. And he was demon's spiritual master, so he had to act according to that. And that's how Krishna wanted him to be acting. he was doing his part, and that's how he could, Bali Maharaj could have could got glorified. Sorry, could get glorified. Without that, the glorification would have been there, and Bali Maharaj could go get tested as well because of that.
Yes. Anyone else?
We can understand that the importance of whom to accept as Guru and whom to reject when. So when Sukracharya was not supporting him in surrendering unto the Supreme Lord, he was fit to be rejected. And then we can see from the example of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami that the spiritual master was favorable, so they surrendered. So, yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much for the input.
Even in the case of Rupa and Sanatana, they were employed by some person and they rejected that person just to go and join Mahaprabhu's party.
Yes. So it's very important for us to have the discrimination. We respect everyone, but discrimination is very important. So what steps can we truly take to live the second life given to us by this movement to the fullest? What steps can we take? What are some practical suggestions and tips that you guys might have to fully live the second life given to us?
Just surrender to Krishna.
Surrender to Krishna?
Book distribution.
Book distribution.
Read.
Read. Yes.
Practice seriously, pray deeply.
Practice seriously, pray deeply.
Chant around nicely.
Chant around nicely. Rohan Prabhu.
Accepting what is favorable and rejecting what is not favorable.
Accepting what is favorable and rejecting what is not. Yes.
Do your duties without any material benefit. Be practical, based on time, circumstances, and situation.
Yes.
Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna.
Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna.
Sankirtan.
Sankirtan, books.
Keep yourself in check by associating with devotees and by having a mentor.
Keep yourself in check by associating with devotees and having a mentor. So all that we just mentioned, those are some key takeaways you can take away. So it's very important that we keep doing all these things to fully appreciate and to fully live this gift of second life that has been given to us. And we also, in some form, received a second chance. So let's be more conscious of the gift that we've received. And so we can practice our sadhana more seriously, with more sincerity, with more love, and respect all the other devotees that constantly keep uplifting us through all the situations in our lives that are kind of ugly, right? So with that said, thank you very much for coming to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Again, if I said something that was wrong, please come to me, let me know, and I would appreciate a bunch of feedbacks.